Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I can kind of go down on that. Here's the deal: is the first is you need to know what's happening, right? And the second is what I do is I've designed the perfect day and the perfect week. We talked about you when you mentioned that author suggesting that you kind of create a day that if they had to document this is the way Steve or Dan, worked, that you'd be proud of that. So I've done that, and I've been doing that for years. And what I've learned is by deciding the night before exactly what my routine looks like. First thing I do is I wake up, I drink half a liter of water. Then I go and I work out. I have a green smoothie. I meditate. I do a 5-minute journal. I read for an hour. As long as it's funny how I've already decided to do that stuff. So even if I wake up and I'm just not 100%, if I can at least get, those first few steps into it, once I get my workout in, it kind of resets everything. But then it's maybe throughout the day if I'm working on a major project. I mean, I've raised millions in venture capital. So there's been days where I went in to pitch a really important investor, and at the end of the meeting, I knew we weren't getting his investment, and that was this big kick in the stomach, right? And maybe that was what kicked it off. But I just felt like the more that I stayed true to my routine, then the less that had an impact on me. Now, I also believe there's kind of two emotional states that you can have, and this is work from Cameron Herold. He wrote a book called The Back Pocket COO, and he calls it the entrepreneurial roller coaster, the uninformed optimism stage, and then the informed pessimism stage, right? So it's when you get that first idea and there could be nothing wrong with it and it's just awesome and all great, you need to do certain types of work in that state, whereas you would avoid other types of work when you're in the informed pessimism state. So, for example, if you're super high on life and things are going great, then you would do sales, you would do PR, press, marketing, all that kind of activity. What you would not do is any major financial investments, any major hiring, that kind of stuff. And then when you're feeling, the informed pessimism stage, that's when you would do things like, go into the closet and reorganize things, or look at your Dropbox folders and fix that, or work on some playbook or procedure stuff. I mean, it's you don't want to interact with people, because if you're like most entrepreneurs, we wear our feelings on our shoulder, our heart on our sleeve, and you don't want to have that impact other people, but you still want to be productive. So I just think it's really important to understand where you're at in that kind of roller coaster, and if you choose to work, focus on the stuff that you can actually do that's not going to impact other people, or binge watch House of Cards.